We're back with NC State entomology professor Clyde Sorensen talking about the historic cicada emergence, and we're taking all of your questions. The first question is, can the cicadas be harmful to you as humans?
So cicadas are essentially completely harmless. They're not going to come after you. They have no interest in you whatsoever. And while if you were to maybe force one to poke you with its mouth parts, it could bite you, they really don't have any interest in doing that either. They're essentially completely harmless, and there's really no problem with just going and picking one up and examining it.
Okay.
They're not going to hurt you.
All right. What about our pets? Because I think to myself, my dog eats everything.
So actually, they're essentially harmless and nutritious snacks for your dog as well. Everybody in creation is going to be eating these things, and they're not going to hurt your dog. Now, if your dog were to eat like 500 of them at one sitting, you might get a little bit of a bellyache from that. But they're not toxic in any way. They're basically just little tasty snacks for a dog.
This person's asking, are the nymphs, the young cicadas that they feed on the tree roots, are they harmful to those tree roots?
So in general, the cicadas don't seem to do much damage to the trees that they feed on. So there's lots and lots of cicadas, but in an acre of forest, there's also lots and lots of tree roots. There is some evidence that the year before they emerge, when the nymphs are fully developed, that year there's enough cicada feeding going on that it suppresses the trees slightly, but it doesn't do any lasting damage. And then the year that they emerge, once all those cicadas start dying, they actually provide a huge pulse of nutrition to the trees, and so the trees probably get some of that back from those dead cicadas.
Okay, so cicadas actually do something good for nature.
Well, yeah. So in the ecosystem, cicadas are important. Not just the periodic cicadas, but the annual cicadas as well. They're important food for lots of other animals. Lots of birds will eat them. When the periodic cicadas come up in big numbers, squirrels will be eating them, deer will be eating them, raccoons and possums and foxes will be eating them. If they happen to be near water and they fall in the water, the fish will eat them.
Oh,
so
okay.
While they're up and as adults, there's basically a huge feeding frenzy, a cicada smorgasbord that's going to be taking place.
They're a delicacy, if you will. Okay. What about the other side of that? Do cicadas mainly stay around trees, or can they eat your potted plants, like on decks or balconies?
So they're not likely to damage potted plants. So when they lay their eggs, they cut little tiny slits in twigs, and then they deposit their eggs in those slits, and that protects them from egg predators. And those twigs, the leaves that are out beyond those twigs, often wilt and eventually fall off. So on a mature tree, that causes no damage whatsoever. But if you planted an apple tree this past winter, and it's just a little whippy sapling, you might want to put a net around it just to keep them off of it. But apart from that, they're not really going to hurt your plants, and they're really not interested in herbaceous plants, annuals and soft perennials much at all. They're going to lay their eggs mostly in tree twigs.
Okay, gotcha. So they don't actually eat plants; they are laying their eggs there. All right. So they want to know: are cicadas kind of like a locust? They say they're from out west, and they know about locusts. Is it the same kind of like bug?
So actually, they're quite different. Cicadas are more closely related to aphids and stink bugs and insects of that sort, while locusts are basically just big grasshoppers. And so they're quite different. Locusts feed with chewing mouth parts and actually consume leaf tissue, while cicadas feed with piercing, sucking mouth parts, and they live on the liquid contents of plants. And so they're quite different. I'm not quite sure where that connection between cicadas and locusts was made, but it's been a misconception for about 250 years, I think.
Okay. And are cicadas only in the east, or would they come to the west coast?
So there are species of cicadas all across the country. Actually, we have about 172 species in North America. But the periodic cicadas that we're getting ready to experience here are only found in the eastern United States, roughly from, the extent of the forest to the East Coast.
Okay, really quick, because we only have 30 seconds left. Do you know what a cicada tastes like?
Yeah, they're not bad, actually. Taste maybe vaguely reminiscent of shrimp.
Gotcha. Okay. We thank you so much for your time and expertise. We so appreciate it. We'll be hearing more from him as the cicadas emerge for sure. If you missed any of this, it'll be in the Two Wants to Know section.